Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. Catering this to you tonight, Ray. On behalf of the Board of Education, welcome to our meeting this evening. This meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be available shortly through the school website using a link to board docs. We would like you to know that if you have questions or concerns, that we strongly encourage you to utilize the Honeoye Central chain of contact. This will ensure that topics that are of importance to you are directed to the appropriate person and can be looked into in a timely and efficient manner. Before we proceed, please set your phones and devices to silent or turn them off so that we can conduct board business without disruption. Jen, is there anyone signed up for public expression tonight? Okay, then we are going to forego public expression and we will move on to kudos, if anybody has any for tonight. Jerry's not here. Anybody have any?
I do.
All right.
The
Go ahead, Karen.
The primary school play was fantastic. They had an afternoon showing and the evening showing. I was very impressed with the music teacher's ability to keep that many children attending to task. So that was fantastic.
Megan, do you have something?
I was just going to share the same thing as Karen. Actually brought the little pamphlets. I'll pass those around so everyone can see them. Just that everyone did a great job in the musical, and some of the kids had speaking parts, which was great. They got their little moment of stardom. So it's great to see all of them come together and so well behaved and able to execute the whole short musical for the audience. And the audience was packed. We stayed for a little bit to see the jazz musicians afterwards, and they were great to listen to as well.
Anybody else have anything? All right, then I'll just add a thank you to our Honeoye community for taking the time yesterday to vote, and congratulations to the elected board members. To Jermaine and Chris isn't here tonight, but congratulations to you both. Then we have Board of Education committee reports and updates. Last I knew there weren't any. I don't know if any have been added. Okay, then we can move along with that, and I will turn the floor over to Superintendent Fluke for the superintendent report.
Okay, thank you, Tori. First, I just wanted to take a minute to thank the community members who came out last night to vote and show their support for the school budget. We truly appreciate those who asked questions, stayed engaged throughout the process, and came out again to vote. I also want to thank our Board of Education for their partnership in helping us develop the budget. A lot of care went into balancing the student needs, district priorities, and trying to stay financially and fiscally responsible throughout the process while future forward thinking as we planned this year's budget. So thank you to everybody. We're definitely grateful for our strong partnership with both the Board of Education and our community. A special thank you to our art department, K-12, for the beautiful student artwork displayed this week. I don't know if you had an opportunity to take a look around, but there were some really talented artists' work on display. And to our music department for their performances last night, again, outstanding. Preparations continue for next Friday's Special Olympics. The district will have 32 students involved. We have 18 additional student volunteers, the dog pack members, if you will, and we have several teachers attending next week's event. If you've never been to our Special Olympics event, please plan to do so. It's outstanding. This year and next year will be housed in Newark. We are working as a superintendent group to solicit and work with local colleges to try to see if they're interested in undertaking the event. As years go on, we are finding that we are running out of parking space. So it would be nice to have a large college campus to be able to provide everybody who'd like to attend opportunities to do so. So hopefully a college could commit long-term to hosting, so stay tuned for that. The playground build planning work continues. Yesterday, we met with Play by Design, whose founders spent the day here meeting with coordinators, helping to organize the build process. So we started out on the playground. We ended here in the LGI for planning and an opportunity to ask questions and for discussion. Play by Design's Lee Archin, he is again the founder, was overly impressed not only with the work of our committee chairs and all that they've done so far, but also with the more than 10 community members who came out to volunteer for the crew leader positions. So again, he couldn't get over the amount of support for the community. So the crew leaders finally got an opportunity to meet with Lee, ask questions, and see what that job would entail. He was also really impressed with Jerry. I'd hope he'd be here tonight and all the work that he's done for his committee. So additional information and volunteer opportunities can be found on the district website under the playground tab. I also want to again just clarify for the handful of community members still asking questions about why the school is asking for money. Remember, the school is not asking for taxpayers to pay additional money. The playground approved by our voters is still being built. It is still happening. The originally approved funds are still being used. Community fundraising efforts are happening, simply aimed at making the playground bigger and better than what we have designed thus far. So please reach out, though, and encourage any community members who have questions to please reach out to the school, and we'd be happy to answer any of those. An update to our strategic plan. Draft designs have been developed, including a finalized portrait of a graduate, the definitions and skills, which we shared last time, along with the addition of our district priorities. And I did have a slide for that, which I will share with you after the presentation, but we're calling those our commitments. Remember, those were our district priorities, now commitments. Currently, we have academic excellence and/or student outcomes, changing that to future-ready and academically prepared. The safe and supportive learning environment is still a district commitment, as well as community engagement and partnership. And then we are proposing switching the language fiscal stewardship to operational effectiveness. So those are all things that were developed as a part of that plan. We also are working to update our mission and vision statements based on the core values that our team identified during that first meeting back in January. So we're working with Bob also on the draft design of our new strategic plan and the layout, and we're getting really excited to see it all come together. So I've kind of seen the first draft of that design. Our facilities, remember, our facilitators for the plan, former superintendents from Greece and Holly, will be here at our next meeting in June to introduce themselves, meet the board, and share a little bit about the process we've been going through thus far, and then next steps and how we're going to roll that out. So you'll meet them next time. And lastly, check out the success, and I don't have it up here, but the fundraising for the American Heart Association. We raised over $6,000, the school district, for the American Heart Association. So a huge kudos to elementary PE teacher Sarah Mikhailov for all of her hard work and leadership in supporting this important cause. It was actually over $6,600 was raised. Okay. All right, and now I'm going to turn it over to Marley, but again, I don't have the slides. So Marley, let me remind you what those were. I don't know if you could see from here.
All right, so students this week and month have been looking forward to the Seabreeze Math and Physics trip, which is June 1st, I believe. And Youth to Youth today hosted a bake-off between teachers where they raised money for next year's Day of Caring. And then many students have been looking forward to the art show, which is now on display. And there are many, many great art pieces out there. So if you haven't gotten a chance to look, go ahead and do that. And then as for athletics, softball is officially done with their regular season and is beginning sectionals. Lacrosse won against Gates Tri 19-7 on Monday, and had their final regular season game tonight and will begin sectionals this weekend. And then tennis won their first round of sectionals and as of tonight just lost against Fillmore. And then track had their divisionals on Monday, and I believe leagues is this Friday. NHS had a very successful Pickles for Puppies fundraiser last week, where I believe the first day we sold almost $70 worth of material, and I'm not quite sure about the second day. Prom was a success, and lots of students had fun, and there were lots of positive results. And then peer tutoring is slowly coming to an end as students are coming towards the end of the school year, and many of the people that had originally needed it have found their own paths and improved their grades. And then the senior gift has officially been approved. There will be a mural in the cafeteria along the ramp on the right side. And the seniors all discussed what was like an important thing of our childhood. And we decided the Lorax was what we wanted the mural to be of. And so there will be 3 truffula trees and a quote in the middle, which the senior class will vote on. And then one of the stumps of the tree will have thumbprints of both the kindergarten graduating class and the senior graduating class for the stripes. And then the initials of both classes will be written in the grass.
Awesome.
And
Great.
that's all. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, and just a few updates. Just a reminder, the last day staff assembly is on June 25th for any board members who are interested in serving breakfast on that day from 8 to 8:30. Please let me know. Also, the staff is getting awards ready for the June 18th, and this is for the first time ever, an evening elementary awards ceremony. So again, they're hoping to have communication out very soon to the households of those students earning awards, but mark your calendars for June 18th. Our technology staff recently completed updates to the district camera servers to improve system reliability, increase storage capacity, and enhance overall building security and operations. So kudos to our technology department. And they've also got student Chromebooks for the upcoming school year already ordered and currently being configured and imaged for next school year. So that's really exciting. Student placements at the secondary level for next year are officially completed. Counselors are working now with the building principals to finalize the master schedule for next year. And in an effort to support future planning and the possibility of sharing staff across district, and we've been talking about that with board members, we have aligned our schedule with the elementary school as much as we can. So third period of the secondary building aligns with first period for elementary. So we have now aligned our schedules from third period on in the event, again, that we have to share staff moving forward. Initial class meetings at the elementary level are also underway. Remember, class lists at the elementary level are determined collaboratively with the child's current classroom teachers, members of the mental health team, AIS staff, special area teachers, and support staff, along with parent input. So they take all of that into consideration when placing kids for the following year. And lastly, our district level safety team meeting of the year will be held next Wednesday. So we'll have updates for our next board meeting after that meeting. I do have a list here of our upcoming end of the year events. I'm just going to say a few of them for board members who might be interested. Again, though, no school Friday or Monday for Memorial Day. June 5th is the Family Fun Night. It's at the elementary school from 5 to 7, June 5th. I believe that is in a few Fridays from now. We also have Doggone Fun Day coming up. That is June 12th. June 12th, Doggone Fun Day. June 15th is the 7th grade science fair. If you have not gone to that in the past, please mark your calendars for June 15th. It is during the school day, and it is here in the LGI. Again, the 7th grade science fair. June 18th, the 5th grade moving up ceremony is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that evening is the elementary awards program ceremony. June 19th, no school for Juneteenth. And we have June 22nd, our kindergarten graduation at 6 p.m. And June 24th, the last day of school for students and staff, or for students, and that's a half day. Okay, and of course, our final event of the year, graduation, is Friday, June 26th. Yes,
The 24th, that's the last day for high schoolers?
the last day for high school is June 16th.
Okay.
Last day, that's 7th through 12th graders, is June 16th, and then they have Regents exams.
I just have to plan.
Yes, okay. Any other questions? And I will make sure that you all get an emailed copy of these events as well. Okay. And that is it. And now I'm turning it over to our business official for the exciting and kind of new business office updates.
Oh.
Well, maybe after today.
All right. So first up is on for the agenda today, we have a bid award. So as part of the May 2024 capital or budget vote, the community approved a capital outlay in which we are updating interior doors. So 2 Fridays ago, we had a bid opening. We had one vendor respond, Iverson Construction. They are the vendor who has done all of our previous doors. And they're also the GC, the general contractor for the large capital project. So we are looking for you guys to approve that bid award tonight. Do we want to do that now or move on?
Jen, do you want me to go backwards and approve the budget first? Okay, just wanted to make sure so we don't lose our spot. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and approve, I'm going to ask for a motion to accept the budget vote and the election results. Need a motion?
I'll move.
All right, in a second.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Are there any opposed? All right, that is passed and carried. And then we also have the tentative 2026-2027 meeting dates and the reorg meeting date. Tonight, we only need to have a motion to set the date and time for the reorg meeting, which is to be held on Wednesday, July 8th, 2026, starting at 6:00 p.m. in the LGI. So I'd be looking for a motion to approve that date and time. In a second,
I'll second.
is there any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that's carried. And then moving on to the capital outlay project bid award, I need a motion to approve that, please.
I'll move.
In a second? Any discussion there? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that's carried.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I also want to express gratitude to the community for coming out and casting their vote yesterday. And in New York State fashion, the New York State budget has come out today after everything was done. And good news is the 2% that we expected in foundation did hold true. There was an increase in UPK funding, which we also anticipated. One thing that came later in the budget period, which is also really good news for us, is that there is a new 5-year extension for the electric bus mandate. So now we're looking at no diesel buses after 2027 or 32 with a full conversion by 2030. So that's great news. In other news, in the business office, we had a bid opening for the 26-27 mowing contract. 5 packets went out, 2 came back, and the vendor that we are using this year was the lowest bidder. So that will be a recommendation for the board to approve later today. And then in accordance to our board policy, subsequent to after developing the budget for the following school year, we had anticipated buying ELA curriculum next year, but based on the time it takes to get the materials and teachers' availability over the summer to learn how to implement that material, we are looking to do a budget transfer to purchase the ELA curriculum with this year's funds, so it will be in time, so we can provide professional development through the staff. So in order for that investment to make sense, teachers need to know how to implement it. So there was a budget transfer. In per board policy, it was below the threshold for Nellie to approve it. But it is for the board to know that there was money that was moved around to be purchasing that ELA curriculum in this year's money.
Thank you for the update. You all set? Okay. Okay, then we will move on to the consent agenda. And the minutes from May 6, 2026, and the CSE minutes. So I'd be looking for a motion, having a motion to approve. A second?
I will second again.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that's carried. Then we have the treasurer report from April of 2026. I'm looking for a motion to accept that treasurer report.
I'll move.
A second? Any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried as well. Next, we have personnel. We have a termination. I am looking for a motion to approve the termination of an employee.
I'll move.
A second? Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried. Next, we have a resignation. We'll be looking to accept the following resignation from Ray Thomas as a transportation coordinator effective June 30th, 2026. This resignation is contingent upon the appointment as director of transportation. So I'm looking for a motion to accept, please. And a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried. Moving on to appointments. Would we like to take these all together or separate any of them out?
Oh, no, I just have one question with the appointments.
Oh, which one? I guess could we wait till we
Unpaid
get to it?
assistant. At the,
All right, wait till we get to discussion and then
Okay.
bring it up then. Okay, so is it okay to take them all together for everybody?
Yeah.
Can you just shake your head yeah, yes, okay. Just want to make sure. Okay, so we have appointments and I'm looking for a motion to approve the appointments for Director of Transportation, Occupational Therapist, a long-term substitute world language teacher, 2026-27 extracurricular club and activities advisors, and then the elementary, the 26-27 grade level department chairs, and the 26-27 extracurricular clubs and activity advisors, and then 26-27 unpaid assistants. So I would be looking for a motion to approve those.
I'll move.
And a second? Is there any discussion?
okay, so I'm assuming that this is for girls soccer, Jen? Okay, can we just put for girls soccer so that it's more descriptive? So we know so when people look back on it, they know exactly which team we're on. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried. Then we have new business, old business, invoices. We have two from SWBR. One is 00026000203, and the other one is 2419806 for the auditorium AHU emergency project. Looking for a motion to approve. And a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Right, that's carried. Obsolete item. The following item is to be declared obsolete and to be discarded. This is from the music department. It's an electric keyboard. So I'm looking for a motion to declare obsolete and discard. In a second,
I'll second.
any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that's carried. Next is a resolution. This would be for the 26-27 ROC resolution, and I'm looking for a motion to approve. Second?
Sure, I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that's carried. Next, we have the mowing bid. And we are looking to have a motion to award the bid for the 26-27 mowing for Black Truck Enterprises. So can I get a motion for that?
I'll move.
A second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That is carried. Next, we have contracts. I would be looking for a motion to approve the 26-27 individual contracts for secretary to the superintendent and 4 cafeteria monitors. Can I get a motion to approve those contracts? Second?
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that's carried. Next, we have transportation. I'm looking for a motion to approve the following transportation requests for the 26-27 school year. Would be 2 students to Lima Christian School. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll move.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried. Moving on to the capital improvement project, we have 3 invoices. One is SIP Relcom invoice 158861. The other one is SWBR number 2408414. And then the last one is Hale Contracting Incorporated application number 1. Can I get a motion to approve those contracts? Or invoices, I'm sorry. Motion to approve the invoices.
I'll move.
A second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried. Coming up on number 10, we have comments from the Board of Education. If no, does anybody have anything? I just have a few things. Jerry asked me yesterday if I would speak on his behalf for this. We saw each other at the playground meeting, and he knew he couldn't be here today. He's umpiring a game. So he asked me to relay the message and get feedback if the Board of Education would be interested in serving hot dogs on August 16th, which is Sunday, which is the final day of the playground build. So he just would like to know if we are interested in doing that, and we can like commit to it at a later time. Just if there's enough interest, then he would like to make sure that we're on to do that. So are you good with that? You good? You'll probably, yeah, you don't have to worry about it. He'll still come and eat a hot dog. I'll be here. Okay? Okay, well, we'll bring you a hot dog. Okay, awesome. Then when Jerry sees this or I see him, I will tell him. Next, Megan and I attended the 4 county annual meeting, and that was it. Club 86. I wanted to say 86 something and it wasn't making any sense. So we went to that. The reason that I'm bringing it up is because the presentations after the very short meeting that they had, the presentations that were given were from ex officio board students. And it was exceptional. And so for that alone, I'm glad that Megan and I went because it's not normally something we would have attended. And I've already talked to Natalie a little bit about some of this. So in going to these things, this is why I like going to these things, is you get to see how other schools are doing things. So almost every other school that presented has at least 2 ex officio board students. They have a senior and a junior. So that obviously there's always somebody there to slide into the slot of a senior. It also, they said that it helped, like when it comes to presentations, like when you had sports. So they try to like sometimes get somebody that's more like music and arts and then somebody that's more sports so that they always have a coverage and they write their presentations together. Or if somebody can't be here, the other person would give the presentation for them. It was just hearing the things that they talked about, I found greatly intriguing. And at the same time, these kids are doing all this work and there's not really any guidelines for what they're exactly supposed to be doing. So I said to Megan, I said, wouldn't it be kind of cool if, because Honeyway seems to lead the front line with a lot of the things that we're doing, and then other schools take on, we've written our board handbook and things like that. Wouldn't it be great if we could start putting something together of what's expected of an ex officio board student and start sharing that and getting input from the other schools? So it's something that I hope the board would consider working on for the next school year. And then we also found out that there's usually a application that the senior and junior would fill out. And then there's an interview, and then the interview is usually done by some members or all members of the board, and the superintendent can be included in on that. Because they were saying that because the ex officio is basically an appendage of the board, it makes more sense to have the board. But yeah, so I would, whatever. It's just, I thought it, like, just hearing all the different things that people do and the way that all the different schools do this stuff was pretty incredible. And just to like be able to help, maybe get more of your feedback on what you think we could do differently or what we could do better or what we're doing great at, so we can make sure we're helping the next person that's coming in or people that are coming in. Cause I don't know, just hearing it all made me, like, a bunch of light bulbs went off in my head and it made a lot of ideas. So, but thank you for like, having us go to that. And it was a free thing to attend, but
I just want to add to it too, like, just talking to the people across the table from us, like, I think we expect a lot from you, which is, I think it's a great thing because you're telling us what's going on in the school because we're not always here, right? And just building that relationship with other community members around you that you normally wouldn't interact with. I think that was the best thing that one of the kids talked about, even their superintendent, because most kids don't get to know their superintendent from larger schools. So just having another person, like, you might need to write something for college, right? So, so it's nice to have that person there as well for you too. So it was just a great thing to see, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we went.
And then the last thing from that presentation is Regent Adrian Hale was there. He was a U.S. Marine, and now he's one of two regents in our area of in New York State, I believe. So pretty incredible. But he gave a speech that, again, I found kind of impressive and moving, because he said that schools are often so focused on what do you want to be when you grow up. Nobody ever really asks a student, who do you want to be when you grow up? Like, kind, empathetic, hardworking, like you don't get asked those questions. It's, I want to be a fireman. And that's all that you're ever really asked is, what do you want? And what college are you going to? It's the bigger picture. And I appreciated him saying that, because it like opens your eyes to the things we're not saying. And maybe we should be saying to students. It's, what do you want to see yourself as? Who do you want to be? So I really appreciated him saying that too. And then, is there anything else on that?
No, it's just a great thing that, I don't know.
Yeah,
Just learned a lot.
we did. So like Megan said, there were other people at our table, and they were asking, like, everybody was kind of brainstorming and telling a little bit about what our ex officios do or don't do. And they were blown away that you actually give presentations all that, like, you do, in the depth that you do. So several of them are going to be checking out our recorded meetings to actually see what you do, because they're like, really? She does that? And we were like, yeah, she really does that. So just so you know, you set the bar a little high for some other people. So good job for that. And again, thank you for all of your help, because we do appreciate it. So you're welcome. And lastly, I just wanted to, Megan, Natalie, and I received an email today. It's gonna be Tuesday, December 26th. It's the Get Acquainted for newly elected board members at BOCES in Newark.
May.
No, it's May.
Oh, sorry, May 26th, sorry. Tuesday, May 26th. So I just wanted to put that out there so that people realize, maybe Natalie or Jen can reach out to Chris Moore so that he's aware if he hasn't received something. I can attend, and I believe you said that you would if we're going, so, yes, so if we can find out if he would like to attend. It just, and it says newly elected, so I don't know if that means, like, I mean, you're newly elected, but you're already a member, so, I mean, you can go if you want to. It's a loosely worded term, newly. So, just so you know, that's next Tuesday. Oh, yes, then, okay, I'll write that down, yes, got it. All right, so if we can just let Chris know so that, and find out from him.
Oh, yeah, we can talk.
Yeah, you can,
Yeah.
okay, awesome, thank you very much. Does anybody have anything else for comments from the board? Oh, can you turn your mic on? Sorry.
Just for clarification, as far as the ex officio conversation, are y'all proposing that we talk about moving forward with those new?
I would like to, if everybody would even entertain that. I don't know, it's kind of like having a president and a vice president. You already have somebody trained to do your job and then they can help the next person step in because whoever replaces you for next year doesn't really know what they're doing, so.
Well, yeah, I guess if that's what we're proposing, then yeah, man.
Yeah. Would you be okay with that? I know you're leaving, but. Okay. Karen? Okay, Meg? Yeah, me too. So,
I can let you know where we are in the process now is that applications and they're actually written essays are due in June, but the first step is for students to reach out to me via email to just say that they are interested in applying for the position. Right now, I have 3 people interested that they're due this Friday. So we still have time if it was something we wanted to try to implement this year. I didn't reach out to any 10th graders who would be the 11th graders sitting next year. Right now, we have upcoming seniors, but that is something we would have time to do because interviews and applications haven't been collected yet. Typically, the board member is selected by their peers. That's how we've done it in the past. But we can certainly open the doors to looking at some different ways to do that. And we still have time this year if we wanted to.
does everybody want Natalie to reach out to the 10th graders who would be incoming juniors?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Marley, do you think that would have been helpful to have someone like to kind of not lead the way, but like help you out and share that role?
I think it would have for this, and I know for varsity soccer at least, that's how we did it. And I was selected as a captain for my junior year, and then going into senior year, even with the coach change, it did make everything a lot easier. And so just from that aspect, I think it would be definitely helpful.
Thank you for your feedback. And lastly, just a reminder, the Board of Education self-evaluation began May 16th and it's going to go through June 12th. Just make sure to get your evaluations turned in so that I can compile everything. And then we have a workshop June 23rd from 6 to 8 to go through all of that as the board. I sent out the links today for everything. If you have trouble getting into anything, let me know. If you need something printed out, probably have Jen print it out for you. So just stay in touch if you need help or can't find something. Does anybody have anything else? All set?
I just
Okay.
have a quick question.
Yeah.
Does Marley have one more meeting with us?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll make it fun. All right, if no one has anything else, then I would need a motion to go into executive session to discuss the employment of a certain individual.
I'll move.
A second?
I'll second.
Any discussion before we go in? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, we are in executive. Out of executive. Does anybody have anything else before we adjourn?
No.
All right, then I would need a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Who moved?
I'll move.
Megan Basil,
Jerry,
Jerry,
second.
what time is it?
7:41.
7:41 still. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right. Adjourned.